How's it going today, guys? We are Phire and Ash.
My name is Sapphire.
And I'm Ashley.
Today we're going to show you guys how you can clone or propagate your plants.
Now, our first plant that we're going to show you is this Coleus right here. Now, you can simply make a propagation or a clone by cutting along this stem right here. Now, using my plant shears here, I'm going to trim off these bottom leaves here at these nodes. And then a node is actually where the plant grows its leaf. And once you submerge the stem, this area, into water, this is where your roots are going to grow from. If you want a stronger stem, you can actually trim off all of these bottom leaves, just leaving a nice top here, like so. Now right here, I'm going to make another cutting. This cutting is going to be significantly larger. If you have leaves in the water, they will actually rot, and your plant may not successfully root. Now that you have a successful clipping here, I'm going to place my cutting into a clear shot glass container like so. Any clear container will suffice for your cuttings. You can even use a recycled bottle. Here's another one of my cuttings that I'm actually going to place into the same container. Now, because they are both Coleus and they have like a little bit of the longer stems, the narrow top will help keep that cutting in place. If you have a more open rim, it would possibly allow your plant to tip or tilt, but a more narrow top like so is going to help hold that cutting in place. Here we've got a couple of our Coleus propagations. As you can see, I would say this is 3 or 4 weeks into the propagating process. They have established a large amount of roots, very successful. And these are quite a perfect size for this cutting. Over here we have a couple of our new Coleus cuttings, and I would say this container has too large of a rim. Although it looks decorative and it does look nice, your propagation is actually at risk for either falling out of the container, as it just did, or falling into the container, for which then it could rot. Another thing that we wanted to talk about is overall care for your propagations. Here we have 2 Coleus cuttings that have been sitting in water for about 4 days now. Your water will eventually become murky. Now's a great time to replace that water. Go ahead and dump out the murky, dirty water and clean the container and place your propagation back into the container with new water.
The next plant we're going to talk about propagating is the Monstera Deliciosa. Now these things are way different than Coleus plants. They actually are propagated through what is called an aerial root. These aerial roots look like little bumps on the stem, and this is one right here. So as you can see, there's an aerial root here, and I'm going to cut the stem right below it, just like this. This is the cutting we just took from the Monstera Deliciosa. It's about 2 feet long, and we're going to put that in water. This container was too big for the Coleus, but for the Monstera that's almost 2 feet long, it's a perfect size for this propagation. As long as that aerial root stays submerged, it's going to root out, and then you'll be able to pot it once it grows roots.
Make sure that you are paying very close attention to your water levels of your propagations. This propagation here does not have enough water. You would definitely need to add water into this container. It's important to make sure that your roots are completely covered with the water. If they are not submerged in water, your plant could die. Now this propagation here has way too much water in the container. Your plant could potentially rot. For this propagation, the only area that needs to be submerged into water is the aerial root there.
The last propagation that we're gonna create is from this Marble Queen Pothos. This is similar to the Monstera. You see these little things right here? These are all little aerial roots. So if I cut below either of those, I'm gonna be able to create a whole new plant. Now again, you're gonna wanna chop off the bottom leaves because you don't want any leaves to be sitting in the water. That's gonna cause rot. So as you can see, there are 2 aerial roots here. And when we put it in water, we want the water level to be just above that second one. And that way we decrease our chances of the stem rotting out.
Here we have several propagations, all at very different stages, from starting in water all the way to soil.
So this is one of our favorite propagations. This is a combination of 4 different pothos. There's a neon pothos, there's a marble queen, there's a golden pothos, and there's a pothos and joy. They're all in the same pot, and it really creates this beautiful piece of art. Keep in mind that when you transplant your plants from water to soil, there's usually a 1 to 2 day period where your plant will look very sad, and that's normal. So with your propagations, a small little cutting like this could turn into something like this. Once it starts to root, you just put it in dirt in a very small pot and it'll start to grow more bushy. The reason why is because you'll actually start to get more nutrients from the soil that you can't get from water.
We actually received a small cutting from his mother, and it turned into this plant that you see here about 5 months later. Now, this plant has actually acted like a mother plant for us. So we've taken multiple cuttings off of it and rooted it, and they make for great gifts. You can have plants everywhere.
Over here we have a calathea. It's called a maranta. I put this in soil probably about 6 or 7 months ago. The plant was on its way out and I cut a little piece off and I managed to salvage it. There was only 1 leaf at the time, but it's grown 3 more since then. Propagating your plants is a great way to grow your plant collection, but it's also a great way to provide gifts for your friends and family. I've given away so many plants to people in my office, my family, and friends, and they make good gifts. And the reason why is because when you give somebody a plant, it's not like a one-time thing. They have to constantly take care of it, and it actually provides them with a new life to care after. If you guys are interested in learning more general plant tips, please just click on the link here to check out our other video. Peace and love.
Ow, now, brown.
Ow, now, brown cow.
3, 2, and 1. What? Okay,
We got this.
Now I'm too happy. Hang on. Our water propagations here, the 2 of which on our furthest end. Why do I word things weird?
Me too. I do the same thing.
I'd be like, of which over here?